Thank you very much for having me. I think Secretary of State Tony Blinken's visit to China is more or less generating a normal outcome. It's not a huge success, but it's not a failure at all by any stretch of the imagination. And the fact that Secretary of State Blinken met with the Chinese president is a strong indication that we should expect that President Biden and President Xi Jinping of China will meet before the end of this year, most likely on the sideline of the APEC meeting in San Francisco. Now, all these things combined together are very positive steps in the right direction. But whether these steps are sufficient or not is a question that we still need to observe. So it's a good meeting in the right direction. It helped reduce the tension, and it put China-U.S. relations today in a more better understood global framework, as President Xi Jinping emphasized. The world is big enough to accommodate both China and the United States.
Victor, just one other point, and it's a question that I posed to Ambassador Chaz Freeman, and that is that there are concerns in China about U.S. intentions, U.S. goals, that this could be, the U.S. goal could be to contain China's rise. Do you think a meeting like this, or the meetings that took place, go some way towards easing those concerns?
No, I don't think so. I think we listened very carefully to what Secretary of State Blinken had to say, most of which are good talks, but we still need to watch how Washington will walk the walk. And it seems that there is huge difference between the talk of the talk and the walk of the walk. And eventually, it's the walk that will matter. And purely from the Chinese perspective, the United States is still out there, aligning all its forces domestically as well as abroad, try to build up a line of defense or aggression against China, depending on the perspective, for example. And the goal is to prevent China's continued economic development to such an extent that the United States will hold down the ground as if there will be no consequences. This strategy will not work.